Hello, everybody. Today we will be reviewing the fourth season of The Big Bang Theory. So a lot happens in this season. In fact, I actually had to just go back on IMDb and just kind of give myself a refresher on everything that takes place. So at the beginning of the season, um, Leonard and Leonard still is hanging out with Penny. They're still really good friends. And Penny then gets told that Sheldon has a girlfriend, Amy Farrah Fowler, and that it's been going on for 4 months. So she's surprised by this news. Amy becomes one of the more main characters in this season, I would say, as opposed to a secondary character. She's more in the limelight of this season. I believe in this season, one of the episodes, it was Leonard that tells Penny about the first time he met, when he was going to move in with Sheldon, and Sheldon actually ended up saving his life. I believe it was in this season, but I couldn't find enough information on it to remember if it was in this season or the third season. So if you guys know, just leave a comment and let me know, because I might have already talked about that. If I did, I'm sorry. But the seasons are kind of blending together now, which is actually kind of nice, because the story is actually getting better as the seasons progress, as far as like an actual storyline with every set of characters. So Sheldon's mother eventually has to come and visit again, because Sheldon has a breakup with Amy, and I put that in quotations because the show did too, because they're not technically boyfriend and girlfriend. Sheldon just refers to her as a girl that is his friend. So he doesn't want their relationship to be an actual relationship. So then a little further down the road, we find out Raj has a sister named... God, why? Her name just slipped my head completely. Give me a second. I don't know why that just happened. Oh, really? Whoops, sorry. Oy, oy, oy. Where is she? Priya. So Raj has a sister named Priya. And it turns out that her and Leonard apparently had some sort of relationship before she went back to India. She's back now because her job has brought her back to America. So then her and Leonard end up getting back together in this season. After Penny has, in one of the episodes, tried to convince her dad that her and Leonard are together, because her dad only was accepting of Leonard as a boyfriend for her because he was smart. He wasn't like all the other guys she dated in the past. So then he basically begs Leonard at the end of the episode to keep dating his daughter, but Leonard says that's not in the cards. And in that episode, Sheldon writes up this whole agreement for Penny to move in, basically, and at the end of the episode, Leonard says, yeah, we're not going to be dating, and Sheldon just throws all the papers in the air and goes, do you only think about yourself? Because he was up all night writing this roommate agreement for them, so that was kind of funny. That was one of the more memorable parts of this season. So Howard and Bernadette get back together. That's a big one in this season because a lot goes on with that storyline. So Howard ends up proposing to Bernadette. Bernadette says yes, after the entire group thinking that they were going to break up based on information given to them. I can't remember who originated it, but then Priya ends up telling Leonard that Raj is into Bernadette, and earlier in the season, Raj tries to kiss Bernadette when they're looking for stars because he invites Howard and Bernadette along with him because Raj is always alone, so he just was there. They were there for the company to help him with his experiment. Anyway, nothing ends up happening except for Raj and Howard end up kissing because Howard moves Bernadette out of the way when he realizes that Raj is going in to kiss Bernadette, because Bernadette is a very she compliments people, lifts their spirits kind of thing. I don't really know how to put that into words right now, apparently. But she's very kind-hearted, I guess would be the way to put it. Anyway, she's always trying to help Raj out of his rut because he has social anxiety problems, especially with women, as we've known in the past with the past season reviews. So he takes this new drug in this season as well, just to kind of go into that for a second, and he ends up being, the drug works, but he ends up stripping in like this coffee joint or something. Anyway, that was funny. And Sheldon's like observing the entire situation as it goes down. So back to Howard and Bernadette. Howard proposes to Bernadette. She says yes, even though the group thought that they were going to break up. So the entire episode, they're kind of like, that was probably not really a good time to, propose in front of all of us, because they were like, oh my god, she's going to break up with you. And during that episode, Amy and Sheldon decide to create their own fake gossip. So they say that they've had sex together, which clearly we both know that Sheldon and Amy probably wouldn't, but they do end up kissing in this season. After Amy gets drunk, they go for a girls' night. Sheldon tags along because they're going to bash Priya, and Priya has basically destroyed any value of his roommate agreement that he's drawn up in the past for him and Leonard. So he writes a new one and then threatens to send the fact that her and Leonard are in a relationship to her parents. So Leonard has to sign a new roommate agreement. Eventually it gets to the point where Raj ends up moving in with him. And Sheldon actually thinks that Raj is a better roommate because Raj does more than Leonard ever did in the entire time he was there. So that was another funny part of it. But we'll get more into that a little bit later. So Priya then tells Leonard, I think that's where I was, wasn't I? Priya and Leonard are together. Yeah, okay, so then Priya tells Leonard that she doesn't really tell him. She gets a video chat from her parents. She's moving back to India. That's when Leonard comes out of the room, so everything's out on the table now. Her parents know that she's dating Leonard, even though she was trying to hide it from before. Bernadette and Howard's mother go out for dinner. Howard then tells her that they're getting engaged. She collapses in the bathroom. He thinks it's because of the information that he's given his mother. So they're in the hospital. Turns out she just had food poisoning. So then Bernadette gets this position for a new job. So she's basically the breadwinner in that situation, so they're all making fun of Howard for it. Then she buys him a Rolex in that episode, so everybody basically shows up at the very last episode all together, and then all of a sudden, because of the night before, Raj and Penny were drinking together, because Penny is able to hang out with Sheldon and Raj because Leonard and Priya aren't there, because Priya doesn't want Leonard hanging out with his ex-girlfriend, which is understandable, I guess, to a certain extent, but also Penny and Leonard are still going to be friends. They're still going to run into each other because they live in the same building. So, but basically near the end of the season, Leonard is living in Raj's place, and Raj is living with Sheldon. So then all of a sudden the next morning everybody ends up showing up, and Raj and Penny come out of the bedroom together. So at this point it looks like they slept together basically. So everybody's like, oh my god, like, except for Sheldon, because he clearly has no clue what's actually happening. because he's very, he's a smart man, but he's dumbfounded when it comes to human social interactions, basically. He doesn't really understand them completely, especially when it's intimate or physical, I guess, is the joke there. So he ends up saying, what does it look like? Because Penny's like, oh, this isn't what it looks like. And of course, Raj was able to talk to her when they were having the wine, but when he wakes up beside her, he's not able to talk to her, which is funny. Because it's like, oh my god, you guys just had sex, or at least that's what it looks like at the end of this season. So I think I covered everything. It's harder to do seasons of shows, to take notes for it, just because, oh my god, I think I'd fill a whole notebook if I took notes for a TV series. So sometimes I might not remember everything, but if there is anything that I forget or anything that I added that wasn't in this season, just leave a comment below, and I can always do a re-review of the season later on. But I've got so much planned. I've got my next actually 25 weeks set up. And also I got some feedback from some people at work saying that I should add some sort of rating systems for movies at least. I don't know about TV shows. Maybe once I'm done the complete series, I can do like a overall rating of the series, or maybe season by season. I don't know, that might be kind of hard to do because each season's so different, and there's such a, like, it's a gradually building story, right? So it's harder to do, but I mean, I do like this show, so I'm going to continue, finish it, keep grinding it. Season 5 isn't for another little while, but I am going to watch it, just to keep ahead of everything. So I thought I would just give that little update at the end of this review, and I will see you guys in the next one. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye-bye for now.